All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for joining us for this webinar. I am Krista Nightgow. I'm the Managing Director of the Better Block, and I have with me Olivia Rodriguez, who is one of our architectural designers. So on the first webinar, I went into some history on what the Better Block is. I'm not going to do that this time. We're going to dive right into the competition and the details for that. But if you want to check out more, you can look at the last webinar that we did and or check out Jason Roberts' TEDx talk. He's our founding director. And I'll send out links to both of those things in an email after we discuss everything today. So the Spin Spot is a design competition between the Better Block, which we're an urban design nonprofit based out of Dallas, and Spin, which does scooters and is in multiple cities around the country. We're really excited to be partnering together on this competition and rethinking how we can be using spaces for people and for multimodal options. So we're going to go right for it. So the challenge for this design competition is to create spaces for people and not just cars. So we're asking creators, makers, designers, architects, woodworkers, just people who like to design and build things, to create a parklet that combines the idea of a traditional parklet with bike corrals and bus shelters and placemaking. The idea of a parklet is that it can go into a parking space and reclaim that space for people. Another part of the challenge is to make it beautiful and to make it fun. The criteria: all of the designs must include built-in scooter parking and charging, and I will go into some detail on what that charging means on the question section. It needs to provide shelter and seating, allow for 25% to be digitally fabricated, and it has to stay inside the basic budget of $1,500, but you can also fundraise up to fundraise another $1,500, so your total would be $3,000. It needs to be robust and well designed and capable of lasting beyond just one day, and it needs to be ADA accessible. The top designs will be exceptional, bold concepts. They will also be realistic and easy to assemble and fabricate. And they'll take into account the street safety as well as the environment, and also be scalable. So as I mentioned, each of the 5 selected finalists will get $1,500 from Spin for the materials. The 5 teams can also fundraise an additional $1,500, so your total budget would be $3,000. The 5 teams will also get $1,000 for fabrication. That may be CNC routing, laser cutting, 3D printing, whatever that might look like. And then the 5 teams will also get a stipend of $1,500 to travel to Denver. And it's important to note that you do not get any of that money now. You only get it if you are one of the 5 selected finalists. The timeline, obviously, today is the second webinar that we've been doing. Your deadline to apply is July 19th. We will announce the finalists on July 26th. We will work very closely with those 5 finalists to get their files ready, and then the cut-ready files are due on August 12th. And then we'll be on site in Denver to start setting up all of the different designs. And then parking day, where we'll unveil everything, is on September 20th. So parking day, this is where we're going to unveil the designs, and we will be in Denver to make this happen. We're currently working on all of the details, but we will plan on being on site starting September 16th, which will be the first time you'll get all of your materials and you'll be able to start actually working on putting your design together. The Better Block will have a couple team members on hand to assist with assembly, but plan for 90% of the assembly being your team and putting it all together. And we're still working on the partners for who might take the parklets afterward, but they will not be coming home with you. So beyond the designs, we will probably be asking the 5 finalists to participate in any interviews or videos. We'll obviously be asking for feedback throughout the process, and we want you to have a little bit of fun along the way. In return, you will get the $1,500 for the materials, $1,000 for fabrication, and $1,500 to travel to Denver. You'll get to be part of the first ever design competition that's focused on incorporating scooter parking with bus shelters and creating places for people. If you win, you get $2,500 in bragging rights, and you get to have fun. So for this section, we're going to go into a little deeper dive on what exactly it means to create or use digital fabrication. So I'm going to turn that over to Olivia, who's going to talk you through what all of that looks like.
Hello. So here at Better Block, we use the CNC machine for most of our designs, and we welcome you to try and use the same machine. Again, like Krista said, you can use 3D printing or laser cutting for your 25%, but CNC machines really give you a little bit more bang for your buck since they can cut such big things. Simply put, they are computer programmed routers. They can be used to cut joinery, engrave things like names and logos and images. To design for our machine, we use SketchUp Pro, so you're welcome to use a program like that or any other program that you feel comfortable with. Just know that when you send them to us, you'll have to send them in flat DXF files. We use our CNC to make all of our furniture, which is in the WikiBlock library, so feel free to go to the Better Block website and check out the WikiBlock area. It's an open source toolkit designs that you can download for free. So if you're unsure about how to design for a CNC, you can download some of our stuff and kind of look at how we do things and kind of reverse engineer how things are made using a CNC. Everything is made out of just a 4x8 sheet of plywood. We can get a cafe set, 2 chairs and a table off of 1 sheet, so be sure to use your space wisely. Fit all of your shapes in next to each other and try and get as much as you can out of those sheets. It'll help you save money and stuff. We also do all of this without using any glue, screws, or nails, so everything is friction fit joinery, things like mortise and tenon joints or finger joints or any traditional woodworking, just made a little bit simplified. Makes things a little bit easier for you guys to put things together quickly and not have to worry about, do you have all of the hardware. That being said, you are welcome to use hardware. So if you need to put wheels on something, go for it. If you need hinges or bolts to make things more structurally sound, you're more than welcome to do that. Here at Better Block, we did a design competition. We've been doing it for 3 years. It's called FD, which is Fab Day. Our first Fab Day, we had teams design a pavilion that had shade and seating. And last year, we partnered all the teams with small businesses, and they made pop-up shops for those businesses. And this year, we made bus stops, which kind of led us into what we're doing with this one. It's just a little bit more larger scale for spin. Here you can see some great images of how the designs are being used in the space, and you can see here the front of our office where all of our bus stops were this year. So this is kind of what it will look like in Denver, something like really inspiring and having all of these fun designs out. We've made a few parklets here at Better Block as well. This is our mobility parklet. So this is also a good example of something that has parking for bikes or scooters, seating, and a shade structure. And this is a good example of a rendering that you can feel free to send us. So we have a few more. This one is not using any CNC, so you could see how this is all just traditional lumber and maybe some metal work, but you could easily add CNC components to this design. And it's another good example of a rendering that could be sent. and so is this one. This is a performance parklet that we haven't yet made, but we're excited to. But it also incorporates bike parking, seating, and a space for entertainment. And it's a great example of a rendering. Remember, you will be building these, so when you're designing, really think about what you're capable of. You don't want to end up winning or getting chosen to be a finalist, and then you can't put your design together. So think about what you're capable of, what your team knows how to do. Use your skills for that. Play to your strengths, and you'll be turning in complete renderings by July 19th. You can submit renderings that look like any of the ones that I've shown. Send those as JPEGs or PNG. You want high quality so you can see all of your detail. And if you are selected, you will need to turn in flat DXF files to us by August 12th. And we can work with you to do all of that if you've never done flat files before. We'll be here for you if you're a chosen finalist. And here's a few questions that we've received, and we'll go ahead and go over those. I'm going to pass it back to Krista.
All right, so if you have questions, go ahead and send them our way. I see we've got a couple already queued up. I'm going to go through just a couple that we've received over the past couple weeks and try to answer some of those, and feel free to just send yours along as well. All right, so the first thing is, can you tell us more about the charging station? So the answer to this is on the SPIN website, and it's part of the FAQs there. But we're not getting into the technical weeds on the charging stations, but we do want you to consider providing flexible support for a variety of off-grid charging equipment like pole, solar panels, and batteries. And then kind of thinking through how would you provide protected routes for cables, and then also providing a convenient access to charging ports on scooters and bikes. So put some thought into it and indicate that in some of your designs, that you don't have to accommodate for a specific type of charging station, if that makes sense. How important is it for the parklet to be easily and quickly put together and taken apart? Pretty important. Again, you will be designing most of this within just a couple, building most of this within just a couple of days, without a ton of assistance. So you just kind of think through that and what you can put together. Also think about if someone is to receive this parklet afterward and they may not have the technical skills that you do, can they put this together without a ton of direction or instructions? And so kind of thinking through that and just your time constraints on that one. I'm from another country, can I still apply? Absolutely. And we hope that you do. The only thing to consider is that the travel stipend is $1,500, and so that's your budget for that. And absolutely anyone and everyone is welcome to apply. The size requirements. So this is also on the website, but we are saying it could be 1 to 2 parking spaces, which would be about 18 to 22 feet length. And then the width is 8 feet. How many JPEGs, PDFs, and renders are allowed to be submitted? Are there any size requirements, and can they have text on them? No maximum number. Submit as many as you have. There are no size requirements, and yes, they can have text on them. Is it possible to submit more than 1 entry? We ask for 1 entry per team. Can you be the designer and then just have team members for only help for the fabrication or the building? Yes, you can figure out however you want your teams to be structured or what you want that to look like. Absolutely. The sites. So we're still working on these specific sites in Denver and where these will be placed. So I don't have a ton of detail, but we will be looking for spaces where they're usually accommodating cars. So there won't be anything in the way or any structures that would prohibit you from being able to set up in that space. All right. So those were all of our submitted questions so far. We have one about how many bikes and scooters are we trying to accommodate? Is it bike share, specific parking, or any bikes? So for the first question, there's no hard number. Accommodate what you can within the design of your parklet. And it is not any specific type of bike. Accommodate, just built for a typical bike and accommodate that way, but also thinking through scooters as well. All right, and that's all the questions we have right now. Oh, sorry, I see another one. No, well, okay, so the question is, will the parklets need to be anchored to the ground? And who is liable if the parklet tips over, hits a car or pedestrian? So that depends on your design. If you need to build a structurally stable design. So if it's something that's gonna be really high or could possibly fall over, you need to ensure that you are securing that so that it will not fall over. So whatever you need to do to make sure the design is stable, that is on you to accommodate for. All right, any other questions? Okay, I don't see any more questions coming through, but my email address is krista@betterblock.org. That's KRISTA @betterblock.org. I will answer any questions that come through that way. And I will be sure to send out an email to everyone and let you know what's going on. And if there's any follow-up to that, I'll also send a link to this webinar as well as the previous one. And please start working on your designs because they are due on the 19th. We are so excited. We love seeing what's already coming in, and we can't wait to see what you all come up with. So let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing what you create. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.